Oh boy.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're,
Make your apologies in cursive. That's what you do.
There are times
when you need someone.
I'm gonna be by your side. Right here.
Meet your sahab back at the coffee table.
Sahab at the coffee table.
At the coffee table.
There are times
yes
where a situation or a set of circumstances predicates us to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a 0.5.
A special report.
We here now.
We gave you time to have your feelings, be in those feelings, and then rearrange them.
We even went so far to try to start this before it started by not acknowledging your feelings. You can read between the lines of what we really want to say with that, but we really tried to. Until the weekend happened. But Broken Pistol Booking Company, Pro Wrestling Podcast, infused with hip hop. I am Wood. This is my Saha player partner, Suave Burgundy.
You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
We'll get back to our regularly scheduled festivities. On 227 when it's proper, when it's going to be proper.
No place like home, baby.
Today is Thursday, February the 8th. Year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
I said year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
20 and 20. 4 for 4.
Would you like fries with that?
Not today, sir. No fries on the side. Got a salad today. I'm trying to make it nice and healthy for you.
Dipping sauce for your nuggets, pause?
Absolutely not. I'm actually going to take the breading off and just eat the white meat, pause. Let the church say.
Hey, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, all of that. That seems like a lot of extra work to peel the breading off chicken nuggets. It's a lot of effort.
We just talking here. Like don't put too much stank on it here.
I'm just saying I've seen people do it in real life, so I know it's a thing. I'm just saying.
Had to get the lighting right for this one because I'm in the passenger seat with my seatbelt on. I might jump in the back in the third row. Actually, not even the back. I might jump in the third row just for safety reasons.
For safety reasons.
For safety reasons.
Wow.
So. We got a timeline to run down to you.
Indeed, we do.
Specifically related to the supposed main event of WrestleMania. We say supposed because our card subject to change.
We say supposed because it's 2 months from now.
It's in the 40s on the number of days. Actually, 50s on the number of days.
58 days after the press conference. It's 58.
So. Let me do this. We don't have a lot of time. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a great time.
Fast break.
So 30 minutes.
All the pleasantries out the way. Got it? 30 minutes on the clock?
30 minutes on the clock. Show BrokenPistolBC.com, BrokenPistolBC@gmail.com. It's at BrokenPistolBC on all things social. At BrokenPistolBC on what?
Everything. Now,
when the buzzer sounds, we done. I don't care where we at in the conversation. We out of here.
Doesn't even matter. Done.
Get ready.
You go get the end screen with the two episodes. You get a playlist and then an episode.
The fastest 30 minutes in pro wrestling, faster than that hangnail Swerve Strickland 3 match from last night. The fastest 30 minutes.
Everybody chill. Like, why? Never mind. We're here for a different reason. That
227. We got time because Swerve Strickland will be a very key component in 227. 30 minutes on the clock. Our time begins now.
All right. So, do you guys want to apologize via audio? Or do you want to handwrite your apology in cursive with proper punctuation? because some of you just voiced a little displeasure, and I get it. That's cool. We don't always get what we want. Things happen, and changes are made, pivots, and all that other stuff.
Your petulance,
Oh, but
your petulance stinks. By the way, it smells very bad. It reeks.
the word of the day is petulance, not elegance. For those of you who are well versed in the sitcom Martin,
No Rick
but
Martel, not arrogance.
not arrogance. So I can support a little arrogance every now and again.
Yes, indeed.
I'm familiar, but petulant. I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed to in any way, shape, or form be associated with the internet wrestling community after what they have pulled over the last, wasn't even a complete week. It was like 5 days, 6 days, 6 days. Over the last 6 days, I have watched industry insiders. I've watched people in the know.
Pundits.
I've watched pundits go out of their way to not only disrespect a Hall of Famer, to attempt and stage a hijacking of an entire road to WrestleMania, and essentially throw a tantrum in the middle of the floor until you get what you want. And me personally, I feel like you should have never gotten a juice box. Pull your Capri Sun out and cut the top off of the Capri Sun and pour it down the sink in front of you. We don't reward that sort of behavior.
For years now. Swap.
Years.
Yeah, Swap. How WrestleMania, we'll call it, because we have the exact date. I'm not going to do the Googles on that right now. But we'll call it March 24th. We'll call it WrestleMania 2018. Pre-WrestleMania was our very first show, right?
Right.
How many years have we been playing Kung Fu Panda?
At least 4. At least. I don't know when we started that, but at least 4.
I'll say we stopped for about a year because it was good. It was good for about a year. From the time we started to now, we probably stopped for about a year because we were okay.
It might have been, I think when we stopped, it might have been that year right after lockdown, like when we first started coming back around, that lead up to like WrestleMania 37, somewhere in there.
But when it came back stronger than ever. We here now. What makes you think that when the leader of pander, and I'm not just being funny, like the leader of wrestling pandering,
the worldwide leader individually of wrestling
pandering himself is embroiled in the hottest storyline arguably in the last 5 years?
You're an innocent bystander in a drive-by of entertainment.
And you want to put yourself right in front of a loaded gun that has smoke coming off of it because a bullet was discharged.
We wouldn't care if he didn't. But we're at that point.
What makes him think that he's important I know what it is. It's the same thing we've been telling people about for the last year, that he thought was going to make him better has actually made him worse. That damn participation trophy championship.
The golden pacifier.
The one thing that's supposed to be raising your stock is actually it's literally weighing you down.
It's a lot of Karen energy around that piece of jewelry.
What's worse?
Jewelry.
You know what's worse?
What's that?
It's the coolest toy that nobody wants to play with.
The loser bracket, the number 2.
Everything that we've said for the last year has now come out on Raw, on SmackDown, on the Royal Rumble. Damian Priest is carrying it. Like, you don't think that you actually would have successfully done a cash in if that belt was worth a damn? I digress. We ain't here for that.
So
We on limited time.
so I am harking back to a time where a man had a very profound statement. We would call it a bar or a body bag. And the man said something like this: you don't throw rocks at a man who's got a machine gun. Rest in peace,
Rest in
Roddy
peace.
Piper. You poke the bear, you, or as we would call it in certain parts of our community, you throwing rocks at the penitentiary. You out here playing with the church's money. You using God's name in vain. All of these things mean the same thing. You kept playing, and then you got what you asked for. So, in one fell swoop, whoever's in the main event of night one almost doesn't matter. Because if it's for the World Heavyweight Championship, no one cares.
Let's stop you right there, Suave. Let's do a rewind real quick. Last Friday,
Okay.
we know, no thanks to dirt sheets, that Rocky's in the building. Okay,
The guys
cool.
they're supposed to know.
Yeah, Rocky's in the building. All right, cool, whatever. We know Cody's going to be there too. Cody comes out. Cody says, "I need the challenge for that." But I got some people. I got someone I was talking to. Somebody's real close to you. Brings out the rock, literally face to face, fade to black. That's it. That's your. From that, we get one of the wildest revolts from the internet wrestling community over the weekend that we have seen in a long time.
People try to make it akin to the Yes movement. I mean, there's similar energy from the on-camera side, as far as like, okay, this is how it's staging. You figure you're making a better babyface out of Cody Rhodes. Chances are he's gonna be better for this.
I would have even bought into that, right? You and I, you, for,
He was 10 times more sympathetic of a face the next day. No one can argue that.
Not only that, Unc hopped in the car with us. Triple H hopped in the car with us.
Of course, as he often does.
Everybody's complaining.
Wham, wham, wham.
And all he said was, just watch wrestling. In the tweet, that's all he said. Just watch wrestling.
That's it.
Me and Suave had no conversation about this whatsoever. None.
There wasn't a need to have one.
Because nothing was said.
Nothing happened.
Said.
We were, at that time, we were 9 weeks away.
Two cousins said what's up to each other by saying
Right.
nothing to each other. That's it.
Cody won the Royal Rumble. In the press conference, he told you where he was going. So the whole idea of a decision was never on the table in my eyes. It just made for a half-decent TV segment on Raw for Seth to make his pitch. It made Seth seem like, and I'm sure nobody picked up on this, but it made him seem opportunistic. It was very architect or marketect-ish of him.
Yep. Because for the second week in a row.
Because the whole thing is his dream he's trying to accomplish is one, well, really two, and he could have knocked both out of the park if he had got Cody to agree. Say, I've never come into WrestleMania as the champion. And I've never been in the main event, the last match. The winner of the Royal Rumble essentially picks the last match, and now that WrestleMania is 2 nights, you're lobbying for night 2.
Which is,
But you try something and
it's the truth, but it's also cap, because 31, he interjected to put himself into the main event. To me, that's commendable, especially when you have a reason to do so.
I mean, I don't fault you for trying. It's the slugs you shot in the midst of trying. You shot slugs at the champion, and not only did you disrespect the work that had been put in, you tried to make it seem as though that guy was carrying around a replica belt and just doing press. And
When
this is for
the
the
reason
work.
why he's able to take off for months at a time is because he's literally beating everybody at the top of the card, every one of them.
It was taking every poor excuse that comes from the internet as to why people hate Roman Reigns and putting it into a on camera presentation. So you thought you were going to win, and then the Chief showed up with a clip full of receipts.
And his receipts?
I work 10 times less. I make 10 times more.
Your real name is Clarence.
Clarence Mary
have a real good marriage.
It was very 8 Mile-ish the way he got walked down. Like, just,
I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. It's Catholic school.
Little brother, Seth Rollins.
Wearing your wife's clothes.
No pop. It was a master class in get back.
He came back to pander about the pop that he allegedly didn't get, only because the crowd felt bad for him and gave him one or two.
If these were diss records, what do you want to make this kin to? Like, I wanted to say like 4, 3, 2, 1 and second round KO.
Yes, good ones.
So LL's verse, and you guys go back and listen to it, but LL's verse on 4, 3, 2, 1
and
Real Compton City G's.
Real Compton City G's. Yep.
Right. Like one's more one. Okay. In the first case that I was talking about, 4, 3, 2, 1, you got a pretty decent verse out of LL. He doesn't give you bad verses ever. But Cannabis decided to physically dissect everything about that verse and then the person who said it. Call it what you want. If you made LL go back into the studio and do another reply, that's how you know that diss record was top tier.
The Ripper Returns, not only did it end Cannabis's in-ring career, so to speak, but it also proved that the person who put him on was in cahoots with LL the entire time. That's a different level. Level. But
that's a lot of peeling back the curtain.
He was pushed back. He was pushed to that point, or he felt that he was, at least.
Right.
Here we are.
Roman pan-fried Kung Fu Panda in front of everybody, made dumplings and served him with fried rice.
Fricassee. Ooh,
so
yeah.
we moved from the kids' table to the main course. So now, we got Cody. Apparently, he's going to make his decision again. And this is where I'm not totally sure on if everybody said exactly what they were supposed to, because it went from, he's already declared. He declared in the Royal Rumble on camera and in the press conference. And then, this is a formality at this point. But
he never verbalized it. All he did was acknowledge.
No, in the press conference, he declared.
Okay, all right.
In the post media scrum that's become commonplace with big name PLEs at this point.
Right. So
all of them.
Which is yeah, that is correct. How he kind of dialed it back on SmackDown. He didn't necessarily he didn't say it, but he dialed it back on SmackDown. He all but said, "I'm going this way because of this man."
Right. And then you've been taking counsel.
The weekend happens. We have this revolt. We have this groundswell for the Monday Night Raw contingents, both of them.
If it was just we want Cody, I think I'd have been cool with it.
Here's what's crazy. We want Cody would have been the yes movement had we not been in the middle of a social media phenomenon that is the era that we're in right now, 2024. Knowing that and seeing that people have smartphones in dumb places, i.e. wrestling events, before they get there,
right?
We realized that we want Cody was a fabricated movement, and at the top of the board of directors would be Nick Khan and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Again, there were some people who got out of pocket that I'd have never thought I'd have seen or heard that from. Like people who are literally supposed to be smart. And these are not plants. These are actual people. These are not bots. And this, because of the vitriol spit at one individual specifically, I know this wasn't a work on their part. But then as soon as Monday gets here, because everybody wants to be first to break the story, you realize that sheets of paper with the hashtag "We Want Cody" are being handed out in the crowd. Printed "We Want Cody" signs. Remember, like when Cesaro's section was
you hear the bell, the dog barks. You were handed a piece of paper that says "We Want Cody." What are you going to do when the seat filler next to you is chanting it? You're going to be louder. Too. You're going to try to be seen on TV. You're going to wave your free sign, "We Want Cody."
And if you know anything about the 80-20 rule, 20% leads 80%, 80% leads 20%. This became a thing in a very short amount of time. Now, if it's organic, or even if if everyone just stayed within the confines of "We Want Cody," I'd have been fine. Okay, you have a preference. I'm more invested in the Bloodline story than I am with Cody's, but I know Cody is the guy. Like, so anybody saying he's not the guy, who else is gonna be? Who else you done put that much effort into to build up to make the next guy?
And before we can get a decision on Monday, we have another interruption. But then they announce that we have a press conference on Thursday in Las Vegas to announce the main event of WrestleMania and to at least put some dots on the card.
Get some clarity about what we're doing.
The beautiful thing about this is Suave and I have our normal day-to-day that's going on. We get to doing this, and in our preparation, we look and we say, what time's this conference? I thought we were only 10 minutes late. Come to find out, we were 40 minutes late for it. So when we turn it on, the first thing we hear is Kung Fu Panda announcing Cody Rhodes, and what hits? Your daily acknowledgement. And then we have fireworks. Little did we know, because I'm going to go back and watch when we get done with this.
Right.
Big E and CM Punk are putting on a masterclass in banter.
My goodness. You want to get better and get younger on commentary in quick fashion? Put both of those people in play.
Let me tell you something. Big E as a mediator and CM Punk as the Bill Alfonso of commentary.
You think he's Bill Alfonso?
He calls it right down the middle, Daddy. He doesn't pull any punches. Of course, he has very animated opinions, but they don't sway one way or the other. Everything's on 10.
I'd like to paint him as an advocate for chaos. He wants to see people fight. Yeah. Per some of his quotes, like, there are too many man buns in WWE. Pause. We're not talking about cheeks. We're talking about the hair.
Hairdo. Yeah,
which is another slug at Kung Fu Panda. He's taking it from all sides. Pause.
Speaking of slugs at Kung Fu Panda, Tribal Chief acknowledges the fact that Seth is once again wearing his wife's shoes. Dope suede shoes with a god-awful white bow on it.
My guy's had a rough week, because even on Raw, where he tried to jump in the middle of the "We Want Cody" wave and try to steer it towards Cody versus Seth, the crowd was not having it. They didn't want anything other than Cody versus Roman. They didn't listen to any sort of pitch for a plan B. They weren't trying to hear Seth at all, and they almost turned on him a little bit. You can't navigate everything. You're not. Sometimes you just got to let it be what it is.
There's one thing that came out of tonight at the press conference that we have been saying, and it's not even at a level of disrespect. It's just a fact that Seth Rollins is unimportant.
In the grand scheme of what happened at the press conference on that stage, like, he plays a role. He is a cog in the wheel. But if it was Drew McIntyre, or it was, pick somebody else.
Jey Uso.
If it was Jey Uso, it'd be 3 times as good.
Listen,
you know why you playing games?
I'm not. I was the reason I brought his name up.
If it was LA Knight, it'd be every bit as good, and actually, it might be better.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Rocky did something that only fans have, not only fans, but only pro wrestling fans.
I mean,
in casual conversation. Shouts out.
They did show they arse, so I mean, OnlyFans is applicable.
There it is. Shouts out to Petty Messiah. He says, "What's up, by the way?"
What up, though?
These things that we've done in casual conversation, or while we pull up and grab a bite to eat when I was in Texas. Pull up the NOIE family tree. Rocky pulls out the NOIE family tree. The entire family tree.
Explains that the family is linked through a blood oath. So bloodline.
Something that has never been explained on television to the degree of which Rocky did today. One thing that nobody noticed in that family tree.
What's that?
Dwayne Johnson is the high chief.
Point. Hit the bell for yourself, because you picked that out and I didn't even see it.
This is not kayfabe. This is an absolute shoot. The fact that I know this is a shoot is the fact that he didn't even acknowledge himself as the high chief. It's on the tree that he gave for graphics.
And told the crowd, because the crowd at the press conference, and this had a very UFC presser type feel.
Oh, it was extra real.
This is TKO and Endeavor at work. Like the landscape is changing.
This is what they do on ESPN Plus. This is it.
Very much so. This is starting to change. Remember, we kept saying we need presentation that's in the scope of real sports. That's where we're going with this now.
Got it. We have someone credible to call it like it is, because he's been on both sides, even if it wasn't a losing cause. Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, got it. Someone who broke his neck for the cause and was a legit powerhouse before, during, and after. Big E, got it.
One of the top 3 most famous and richest podcasters in all of entertainment and broadcasting.
Pat McAfee, got it. And then
seasoned veteran to help navigate the ship, Michael Cole.
He literally is the man that controls every headset in WWE.
You're not seeing what's happening right now. There's a lot of stuff being put together.
And we haven't even talked about what Rock did on Pat McAfee's show, because he planted seeds of cacao. Rock.
He started a whole new hashtag that started trending right afterwards.
Cody Crybabies,
which to me, transparent moment, not all clever.
It's typical face Rock doing heel stuff. This is like Rock is way more creative than Cody Crybabies.
But I'll tell you why it's partially genius. If you spend any time on the sports side of social media and you get into these posts made by whether it be ESPN or Gridiron or Bleacher Report, and you go into the comment section and you see, because the comment section is where logic goes to die, you see people just start to deteriorate into arguing their own individual point. And when no one has a well thought out rebuttal to engage in what they call debate, because this is a result of the engage debate era. Well, yeah, engage in debate. When they don't have a proper response, it's cry, go cry, or cry, little boy, cry. It's a passive aggressive, really annoying response, because true transparent moment, this is my generation who's doing this nonsense. The generation that says, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
But I can make money off of this. I can get clicks off of this.
Right. It's that's the generation that's at play with a lot of this Rage tweeting is what people are doing.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's go ahead. I'm going to land this plane and we can come back and we can end it with the nonsense.
Bet that.
Roman mentions Dusty Rhodes. Cody mentions the NYE grandfathers and says they should be ashamed. They will be ashamed of you if they could see you right now. To which Rock gives an open-handed slap to the mouth, and then continues to double down backstage in front of Triple H. Not to mention, Seth Rollins jumps in Rock's way and says, "I don't care if you're on the board. You can't just come and do this. You can't just come and do all this, whatever you want." When
just
actually
sucking up main event air.
Actually, you can. He can do whatever he wants to. He's Mr. McMahon 2.0. I told Suave this after we saw the clips of the Rock on Pat McAfee. It's Mr. McMahon 2.0. He's literally on the board. He's like, he can call shots. His best friend is the president of the company. Like, yes,
sans NDAs though.
Like, the man's a businessman and he's a businessman.
Different energy. I don't think he's ever had to pay for it.
Telling Triple H, like, this is what happens if he talks that about my family, talks that ish about my family. This is what happens.
You're out of line.
Another real moment, if you will. So we weren't expecting that. The fact that they came in as bitter, well, not even bitter, but enemies, and then walked out, not just friends, but family, with special counsel.
Shout out to CM Punk for getting all his one-liners off during this. Like, he got all of his shots off that he wanted to
in a very limited amount of time.
Right. And it was second fiddle to what was going on, but it was impeccable. Right. Impeccable.
In closing in this though, let's enjoy this moment, because this is rare to get like two main event caliber stars like Roman Reigns and The Rock. Cody Rhodes included with that. You can throw Seth in there. I'm not taking any talent away from Seth whatsoever, but like, this is the combination of matches.
No, he's immensely talented. He's just annoying. The
combination of matches that can happen because of this and the lead up into it, and the fact we have Elimination Chamber coming up in Perth is amazing. Like, this is what we want as fans. This is what should get people back into WWE and away from the idea that Vince is still pulling strings. However, don't you fix your lips, don't you fix your fingers to talk about what you want, why you want it in 480, 960 characters, because nobody will listen to your words, because you sound like what you are, a walking 45er. You know what I mean when I say that. You don't have to put on a cape or have to put on a hood to show your true colors and draw your line in the sand. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all are doing that. Y'all don't have to.
When you're attacking people's family members and saying a lot of stuff that, quite honestly, you should have your IP.
Simone Johnson deserves better than have to cancel her account as Ava Rain.
Like, you really, like, for real.
She deserves better than to have me have to address her as Simone Johnson, so y'all can understand this, the brevity of what y'all cause her to do.
You got to be tracked down and brought up on charges with some of the stuff, y'all. That's no go. Like, never. It's never okay, and somebody should see you about it.
I've seen Jacob Fatu in person. He's even said it in MLW. I can really fight and I will dog walk your BA.
It's one thing to not like it. It's another thing to go above and beyond and start crossing lines into like real life. You're not built like that.
I know a guy. He's the homie. He mentally incapacitated, but he's still around here, doing good work. Someone was talking that stuff to him online. He got their IP address, did a reverse lookup, and pulled up on him and smacked him at the door. It happened.
This is the energy that's necessary with some of you people who will go completely out of bounds. Like, there's no defense for it. There's no reasoning whatsoever.
If you don't like us in mass, just say you don't like us in mass, but don't use wrestling as your gateway drug to tell people that you're not liked in mass. And on that note, we're gonna see you at 227. Time's up.
58 days.